Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for taking time to join us today. We have a lot more informative content for you today. Let's get started. The terms greatest of all time GOAT and pound for pound P for P are two of the most cryptic and contentious words in mixed martial arts. After all, when there is no way of knowing who is correct, the debates can go on indefinitely. There is always a debate about the greatest in all sports, especially in combat sports with numerous weight divisions. So, let's find out who the GOAT is in each UFC weight division. Let's get started. Number 1. Heavyweight Division. Stipe Miocic of the United States leads the way in the men's heavyweight division. Stipe has an unrivaled UFC performance. He has knocked out 4 previous UFC heavyweight champions. At UFC 195, Andrei Arlovski was knocked out in the first round, and Miocic claimed the UFC title by knocking out Fabricio Verdum in the first round at UFC 198 in Brazil. In their first night, Junior Dos Santos, who has defeated Stipe, took on Miocic at UFC 211 but was knocked out in the first round. In their title rematch at UFC 241, champ Daniel Cormier was defeated in the 4th round. Alistair Overeem, the former Strikeforce and Dream heavyweight champion, was also TKO'd by Miocic. The former UFC heavyweight champion had ever successfully defended the title more than twice until Stipe Miocic. Even legends like Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, and Randy Couture had not achieved this accomplishment. Miocic defeated Alistair Overeem, Junior Dos Santos, and Francis Ngannou, breaking the long-standing record of 2 defenses. The record stands, cementing the Cleveland fighter's status as the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time. Number 2. Light Heavyweight Division. Jon Jones. When discussing UFC greats, there is no denying that the guy known as Bones must be mentioned. Jones, who has only lost once in 27 fights, is also regarded as one of the elite in the octagon by Canada's Georges St-Pierre. Jon Jones debuted in professional mixed martial arts in April 2008, defeating Brad Bernard by TKO. He hasn't looked back since, and he's still at the top of the competition after 13 years. Jones entered the UFC with only 6 UFC fights under his belt and won his first 3 fights in a row. The DQ loss to Hamel was only a smudge on his record, as he immediately rebounded to win the UFC Lightweight Heavyweight Championship in only his 8th bout. As last-minute reinforcement, Bones overcame Mauricio Shogun Rua to win TKO in the 3rd round. Jones has the most title wins, 14, and the title defense, 14, in UFC history, 11. Number 3. Middleweight Division. Anderson Silva. The Spider is no longer competing in the UFC, but he still maintains the record for the longest title reign in the organization's history. He successfully defended his UFC middleweight title 10 times, reigned for 2,457 days in the 185-pound division, and battled outstanding fighters like Dan Henderson, Forrester Griffin, and Vitor Belfort. Despite losing 7 of his past 9 UFC fights, the MMA fighter is widely regarded as one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. Number 4. Welterweight Division. Georges St-Pierre. Rush, often known as GSP, was one of the most formidable UFC fighters of his era. The Canadian finished his career with a 26-2 record, winning titles in 2 weight classes. He is indeed befitting of the title of GOAT. St-Pierre had a professional record of 26-2 when he submitted Michael Bisping at UFC 217. During that tenure, St-Pierre amassed several noteworthy achievements, including the 2nd most title fight victories. Jon Jones surpassed him last year, and the 3rd longest total reign as a UFC champion, 2,237 days, behind Anderson Silva at 2,457 and Amanda Nunes at 2,765 and counting. GSP is not just one of the most comprehensive fighters in MMA history, but he is also the combat IQ to change his style depending on the challenger. A master of the feet and the mat, GSP would regularly switch things up on his opponents to hit them where they were the weakest as fighters. Take GSP's final bout against English striker Michael Bisping as an example. St-Pierre uses his superior wrestling skills to take the count to the ground and cut him off at the knee. St-Pierre, a genuine takedown artist, dominated his opponents by combining a fine-tuned karate stance with rapid kicks, a vicious jab, and an extensive ground game. St-Pierre has few equals when it comes to being a maestro in all aspects of mixed martial arts. Number 5. Lightweight division. Khabib Nurmagomedov. In MMA, it's rare to witness a competitor with an undefeated record, let alone one that spans nearly 30 fights. What's more astonishing is that during his career in the UFC, he has only lost one round against Conor McGregor, and that was in a fight he won. Khabib has unrivaled supremacy over his challengers. Only Jon Jones can claim to be undefeated for all intents and purposes among the other contenders for the GOAT title. The lightweight and welterweight categories in the UFC or any other brand are frequently the most packed due to the law of averages. Those are the weight categories that most average-sized people fall into. As a result, you end up with a larger pool of talent. In that shark tank of a competition, Khabib's records demonstrates his superiority. Pat Healy, Rafael dos Anjos, Daryl Horcher, Michael Johnson, Edson Barbosa, Al LaQuinta, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje are just a few of the opponents he faced in the UFC over the last decade. We all know that different styles lead to different types of battles. Khabib, on the other hand, has battled wrestlers, submission specialists, and top-level strikers and has come out unscathed. Being the greatest is one thing, but being the best in the UFC's best division is Khabib's crowning achievement. Number 6. Featherweight division. Jose Aldo. The South American is among the most dangerous strikers in the featherweight level and presently holds the record for the biggest MMA winning streak, 18 fights. Since its inception in the MMA top tier, the featherweight class has produced an endless stream of brilliant competitors. For years, 145 pounds has been a hotbed for outstanding talent. From the striking wizardry of men like Max Holloway and Conor McGregor to the well-rounded clients like Alexander Volkanovski and Dustin Poirier, and it doesn't appear to be slowing down anytime soon. Despite these undeniably outstanding abilities, we have to go with Jose Aldo for our GOAT pick. Jose Aldo has been unbeaten for a decade and has a skill set as solid as any fighter in the sport's history. He combines basic lethal Muay Thai proficiency with intellectual tactical understanding, changing the two to suit his requirements. Inside the octagon, he has some of the best boxing we've ever seen. Only the greatest of the best can break through a takedown defense, and while he doesn't throw them as frequently as he used to, his leg-kicking power is legendary. Ask Urijah Faber. Sure, he's up against some intense opponents in the GOAT division, but Aldo has done plenty in the last 12 years to establish himself as the greatest featherweight of all time, and one of the greatest of all time. Number 7. Bantamweight division. Dominick Cruz. Dominick Cruz is probably the best bantam competitor of ever time, and he'll be here to talk about his unique path to UFC champion and 3-time World MMA Analyst of the Year. Cruz, who has a 23-3 record at the time of this show, has demonstrated excellence with his distinctive fighting styles, including his 12-year career. However, this willingness to endure, enthusiasm for battling, and unusual reaction to failure distinguish him as a true GOAT. The Dominator beat fellow American Casey Kenny earlier this month to get back on track. While 23 triumphs and only 3 setbacks, the team has a winning record and he is still widely regarded as the best bantamweight in the world. Number 8. Flyweight division. Demetrious Johnson. Johnson is noted for his evasive mobility and rapid striking abilities, essential skills in the UFC's lightest weight division. Indeed, Mighty Mouse benefited from these abilities as he was able to win 30 games while only losing 3. The flyweight class has grown in popularity in recent years as the general public has become more aware of its remarkable depth of technique and agility, while younger talents like Davison Figueiredo and Henry Cejudo have undoubtedly helped elevate the 125-pound division. We couldn't overlook Demetrious Johnson, the reigning champion. Johnson's quickness, well-roundedness, and uncoachable battle IQ enabled him to shatter the UFC record for consecutive championship defenses with 11, establishing himself as the ultimate blend of tactical genius and athletic capability. The appropriately dubbed Mighty Mouse can outsmart you on the feet and annihilate you in the grip and submit you to any of his several mat techniques. his shocking first-round devastation of Henry Cejudo at UFC 197, his submission of Kyoji Horiguchi at 4 minutes 59 seconds of the last round, and of course the suplex to armbar he pulled off against Ray Borg are among the highlights of his extensive and dominant history. He was a maestro of his profession and a warrior who took mixed martial arts to a new level of excellence that was all his own. Well, that is all we have for you today. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until we see you next time, ciao!